registered voters of St. Thomas's Parish. We have one very proud here. And he's showing off his this and that shirt. Right? He's very proud here. Showing off his this and that shirt. Come up here, let the camera pick you up, man. Come up here, let the camera pick you up. Don't be shy. This is one of the persons who nominated Keith King this and that Scarborough MBE today. And he have on his shirt. He's representing well. Keith Scarborough MBE. We can't leave off that. Vote CCM all in. All right. Thank you very much, my friend. And so, this and that was nominated today by 2 registered voters in St. Thomas's Parish. That nomination process took place at the Cotton Ground Community Center. We got there around 10:30, and I have to say that we, the members of the Concerned Citizens Movement, we were there to support our colleague and our candidate. And so once this and that decided, well, I'm going to go to Cotton Ground at 10:30, we decided we must go and support him. And so I was there. Honorable Spencer Brand was there. Our deputy leader and deputy premier, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, was there. The Honorable Troy Liebert was there. And we had other members of the Concerned Citizens Movement, other members of the executive, and other supporters who were there to support our candidate, Keith King this and that Scarborough. And so, we are proud to say that our candidate has been duly nominated. And so, he will be on the ballot come next Thursday, the 5th of March. And so, when you go into the polling station, you're going to get your ballot paper. And you're going to see 2 names there. And you're going to see 2 symbols there. But the symbol that you'll be looking for is the symbol that you see right there on our poster, the symbol of the hammer. The symbol of the hammer. And all of the speakers who will come tonight will tell you why it is important for you to place your X beside Keith Scarborough and why you must place your X beside the symbol of the hammer. The symbol of the hammer. The hammer is what we are using to build this beautiful island, this little paradise island of Nevis, brick by brick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all know, we are all aware that the St. Thomas's seat has traditionally been a stronghold of the NRP. That is nothing strange. But we of the Concerned Citizens Movement, we of the big blue machine, we of the party that is looking after all of the people on Nevis, whether you are NRP, CCM, whether you don't support the party, we are looking after the affairs of everyone. And it is because of this great party why the island of Nevis is moving in such great strides. Things are happening in this beautiful island of Nevis. And so, this party, we have put up Keith King, this and that, Scarborough. And I can tell you, as I said, this constituency has traditionally been an RP. But we see on the horizon, a change is coming. We believe in the CCM that a change is coming. And we believe the time is now for that change. We believe that the time has come when the people of St. Thomas's must realize that the Concerned Citizens Movement is in government, and we will remain in government for the next 3 years for our first mandate. We have a mandate to govern the affairs of this island for 5 years. And of our 5 years, we have only 2 years have gone. And so we have another 3 years in this dispensation. We have another 3 years just in this dispensation. But with God's help and with the help of the good people of Nevis, we believe that we have a lot more dispensations to come. And so, we of the Concerned Citizens Movement, we have a strong government. We have a government with 4 elected seats out of 5. And so, irrespective of what happens in this by-election, your CCM party will remain the party in government. That will not change after Thursday. Now, the importance of putting the CCM candidate in government. When you vote for the candidate of the CCM, you are voting to send your representative to cabinet. You are voting to send your representative to government, to be able to sit among us in the cabinet, to be able to ask for more developments in St. Thomas's. And when I say more development, I mean more development, because the people of St. Thomas's have seen development after development after development right here in your parish, and you do not have anyone in government as yet. So could you imagine what will happen if and when you send somebody to government? If and when you send someone to government, St. Thomas's will see even more unprecedented development. Ladies and gentlemen, when you drive down from Westbury, when you drive down to the island's main road, and you get onto that spanking new road that was just recently done. Ladies and gentlemen, Westbury time and come, don't worry. All can do one time. All can do one time. But at least the gateway to Westbury is well done. The island's main road is well done. Right? The island's main road is well done. All right? So Westbury indeed will get its turn. We have a lot of requests for roads. Everybody want their road done. And everybody road gonna do in due course. But all cannot be done at the same time. So I am telling you, when you go down to the foot of Westbury and you drive onto that spanking new state-of-the-art island's main road, that was done by your CCM government in power. And that road goes through St. Thomas's parish. It was started in St. Thomas's parish in the vicinity of the Cotton Ground police station. And so, the best road that we have right now on the island it started in the parish of St. Thomas's. And I know Alexis like to talk about it. How come we get the road? And I know when he come tonight, he's going to speak about it. Right? So when you talk about good roads, the best road we have on the island, it passes through St. Thomas's Nevis 5. You know, all of the banks are concentrated in Charlestown. But I'm sure you have realized of late that the parish of St. Thomas's have not one, but 2 international banks. 2. One up the road at Barnes got, and one down the road at the bottom of Cotton Ground. It shows movement. It shows development. And these things cannot happen, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, unless you have the environment for it. The Concerned Citizens Movement, your party in government, your party in power, the Big Blue Machine has created the environment for businesses to thrive and for things to happen in Nevis. And so because we have created this environment, we have not one, but 2 international banks right here. And you, the people of St. Thomas's, can be proud. Right here in St. Thomas's, there is no other parish in Nevis, apart from St. Paul's, that can boast of a bank or banks. There are some of the other parishes that have an ATM, of course, but an ATM is not a bank. And so we have two banks in St. Thomas's Parish. And I can go on and on and on. We can talk about the hotel development. We can talk about improvements to the St. Thomas's Primary School. And we can talk about the housing project at Kuhun. And we can go on and on and on. It shows that this caring government, irrespective of whether you vote for us or not, you are getting development in your area. You are getting development in your parish. And that is why it is important for you to support us. Send Keith Scarborough to government. Give us all 5 seats. Give us all 5. He deserves it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I'm only the chairperson, but I could go on and on and on all night. And I know that you want to hear the other speakers as well. So as the chairperson, I don't intend to go on much longer, because I want the other speakers to get an opportunity to come and expound on the issues and to reinforce the point that we want our colleague, Keith Kingdesandat Scarborough, in government with us. And we are depending on the good people of Westbury. You have given us good support in the past, and we are looking for even better support come next Thursday. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with those few words to open the meeting tonight as the chairperson, and I'm indeed very happy that I'm the chairperson tonight. I want to say a special good night to our regular chairperson, Troy Liebert. He's a bit under the weather. And so, we in this great party, we can float. We can perform anything that you ask us to perform. And so, even though our regular chairperson is not here tonight, I am happy to fill in for Troy Liebert. And so, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are depending, we are confident of your support come next Thursday for Keith Kingdesandat Scarborough. Ladies and gentlemen, he made it official today. He will be on the ballot. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take this opportunity to invite our next speaker to the microphones. And this is a speaker who has been making waves in the government. He's someone who is new into the government, just like I am. We are both new, but we are making waves for the people of Nevis. And we will continue to make waves. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to help me welcome the Honorable Spencer Brand, our representative out of Charlestown, who will come and speak to you at this time. Thank you very much.
Your country dying and never lend a helping hand. Would you see your children's future dwindling, creating much disillusion? Or would we watch on idly, disregarding us?
Good night, one of the sweetest calypso ever. You know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant good evening to you. And it's certainly a pleasure to be here in the heart of Westbury. I want to start by congratulating King Keith Kingdesandat Scarborough for officially putting his name on the ballot once again in the St. Thomas's constituency. I want to congratulate him. He has been at it for a while, but I have a very good feeling. That come 8 o'clock on the 5th of March, that the supervisor of election is going to say, I would now like to proclaim the winner of this by-election, in the person of King, this and that, Scarborough, MBE. I have a feeling, I have a very good feeling that that is what is going to happen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in Westbury, another village in the constituency of St. Thomas's. And I want to take this opportunity to appeal to the residents of Westbury to think very seriously about this by-election. I want you to think very seriously about the vote that you are going to cast in a few weeks. I want you to understand that the first thing that you must recognize, that after the election of the 5th of March, your CCM government will still be the government of the island of Nevis. There is this talk that the other side is perpetrating, trying to fool big people and sensible people. But I want to say to you, do not allow anyone to fool you. This is not an island-wide election. It is a by-election in the constituency of St. Thomas's because the Honorable Joseph Walcott Parry have resigned after 2 years. And we are offering to you, keep this and that Scarborough. You know him well. You are familiar with him. You see him in your community. You know him on the stage when it comes to Calypso. And you know, win, lose, or draw, he is coming back at you again. And that is what he has been doing when it comes to politics. But this time around, I want you to make him the winner come the 5th of March. Now we are here in this roadway. I heard my colleague, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, was talking about all of these nice roads in St. Thomas's. But we all know that this is one that goes to Westbury and Fountain that needs some work. And we have given a commitment. When we started the first phase from Cotton Ground to Cliff Dwellers, we have said to the contractor, here is what we want you to do for us. We want you to do the design of this stretch of road from Catesby to Westbury to Fountain, all the way over to Nisbet. And once we have that design completed, I can assure you that we will find the monies wherever we find it to have this stretch of road completed. We believe that it is long overdue. And you can rest assured that your CCM government, we don't make promises, we give commitments. And we are committing to you that we will have this stretch of road completed. And I know that when you send King Keith, this and that Scarborough to cabinet, he will remind me morning, noon, and night. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a golden opportunity at your fingertips. You have a wonderful opportunity to create history in this constituency. You have a marvelous opportunity to be the first constituency on the island of Nevis to send an MBE to cabinet and to parliament. I want you to create history on the island of Nevis. I want you also to create history by ensuring that your CCM party have been able to garner all 5 seats on the island of Nevis. Some people don't like to hear when I say it, but I know exactly why I'm saying it. You know, sometimes you have your radio station and you're listening some nice music, and all of a sudden you hear some kind of funny station cutting. Well, that is what you get from the opposition. Sometimes we are in parliament and we are debating serious issues in the interest of the country. And then you're going to hear a country review that offers no value, no substance for the development of the country. I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to change that. I want you to allow King Keith Descendant Scarborough to come to Parliament, to come to Cabinet, to sing from the same hymn sheet in the interest of the development of your island. Now we know, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a short time for this by-election. We have a short time. As a matter of fact, it's next week, Thursday, the 5th of March. And I want you, the residents of Westbury, to help us spread the message. Help us to persuade those who might be weighing in the balance or not certain whether they should vote in this election. I want to say to you that you must encourage every person who are on the voters list that you have influence over to go and cast their ballot for the CCM and for this and that. We want to say to you that while it is a by-election, it is also a critical election. It is a critical election because we want to once and for all retire the entire NRP. We want to retire them. You have seen, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, the kind of havoc and the kind of destruction that the NRP have placed on this country while they were in government. They have left a legacy on the island of Nevis that is going to remain with us for a very, very long time. And every single day, your CCM government is fighting hard to correct some of those mistakes. The Honorable Alexis Jeffers spoke at length at our last meeting about how the NRP would have gone the length and breadth of this country, acquiring people property and never paid 1 red cent for them. I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, while the government have the right to acquire people property, it is the obligation of the government to compensate those persons at fair market value. And the NRP don't know anything about fairness. They don't know anything about fairness. And I'm saying to you, these are some of the legacies that the NRP have left in this country. There are many persons in this country whose property have been acquired and we are still struggling to pay for them. I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, while those are stains in our country, your CCM is fighting every day to remedy those. And we want to ensure that you strengthen our hand by sending us King Keith Descendant Scarborough. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a leader in this country, a gentleman by the name of Vance Winkworth Amory. And he have a background in banking. And the Honorable Vance Amory, when he was Premier, had a very simple way of doing things. Very professional, but simple in a way. He always believed that you should try and save for a rainy day. And when the Honorable Vance Amory's government was removed from office in 2006, the record would show that the Honorable Vance Amory left money in the bank. You would have heard of the monies that were left in the bank from the sale of the Pinnis land. And we are saying to you, residents of Westbury, the record would show that in a matter of months, the NRP, when they came in, would have squandered that money. They would have racked up in a few short months, in a year, in 2 years, overdraft and debt in the country. And we are saying to you, even today, we are still struggling to try and remedy some of those wrongs. I am saying to you, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, your country, your island is now in safe hands. I am not saying to you that everything is perfect. I am not saying to you that we have everything how we want it. I would be lying to you. But I'm saying to you that you are better off with the CCM government than with the NRP government. You are better off with Mark Brantley as Premier of this country than I don't even know who is the leader of the other side. Would it possibly be? Well, then again, I don't even want to know. I am saying to you, you will be better off in St. Thomas's with King Keith Descendant Scarborough as your representative. Because he will not only be in Parliament, he will be in Cabinet to speak on your behalf. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have a decision to make. You have a decision to make. Our task here tonight is to say to you that this decision should be an easy one. This decision should not be one of much difficulty. This is a decision, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, should be easy. It should be easy because on the first instance you know this and that. It should be easy because you would be strengthening the hand of your CCM government. It should be easy because you are entrusting your future and the future of your children and your children's children in the hand of a capable and a competent individual and party. I am saying to you that we have penned a phrase in this country, people matter more. And we don't want you to take that phrase lightly. Because your CCM party have always stand on the side of the people of Nevis. You can check the record of your CCM party, and every single position or decision that we have taken have always been on the side of the people of Nevis. And I want you, residents of Westbury, to stand with CCM as we have stand with you. I want you to recognize that you can be and you can ensure that your CCM party get the additional seat by voting for King Keith Descendant Scarborough. He have an ambitious agenda. And I believe that if you give him that opportunity, he will fulfill those commitments that he have given to you. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 5th of March, 2020, on Thursday, the 5th of March, we want you to go out in your numbers and vote for King Keith Descendant Scarborough. Ensure that you look for the hammer. Ensure that you put your X inside of the box. Don't touch. Please, don't touch no section of the box. Put it inside nice and neat. Next to the hammer for King Keith Descendant Scarborough. Allow him, ladies and gentlemen, the privilege of serving you. I am asking you, I am beseeching you, I am calling upon you to ensure that you send Descendant Scarborough to Parliament and to Cabinet to give yourselves a voice and a chance to be heard and to represent. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good night.
We are warming up. And, you know, as I would have said at previous meetings, we are warming up. Because, you know, this is the by-election coming up next week, Thursday. But very soon after, people of Westbury, we're going to be coming back to you. And this time we won't be going back to just the people of St. Thomas's, but we'll be going to all of Nevis. I want to thank the Honorable Spencer Brand for his powerful message tonight. Of course, he has endorsed King, keep this and that Scarborough MBE. And he has strengthened the point that we need to send this and that to government. We need to send him to cabinet. But I just want to correct one little thing that my good friend and brother, the Honorable Spencer Brand, said tonight. And I want to set the record straight. Because when Honorable Brand was here a while ago, he said that the government of Nevis is in fair hands. I want to correct that and put the record straight. The government of Nevis is in excellent hands. Let me repeat that. The government of Nevis is in excellent and, as somebody said, very safe hands. You will never get the island of Nevis, the Nevis Island administration, placed in a better pair of hands than the hands of the concerned citizens movement. And the evidence is there wherever you go, the length and breadth of Nevis. The evidence is there that your Nevis Island administration is in excellent hands, not just fair hands. And that is why, because Nevis is in such great hands, that is why we are asking you, the good people of Westbury, the good people of St. Thomas's, the good people of Nevis 5, to strengthen those hands that is governing the affairs of Nevis so well. Those hands that continue to say, people matter most. And so, we are depending on you. We already have 4. We are looking for the 5th seat. We are looking for a clean sweep on the island of Nevis. In December of 2017, we got 4. 1 is missing. And we are expecting Westbury and the rest of St. Thomas's to give us that extra hand. Give us all 5. So come next Thursday, we are looking forward to the extra seat coming into the cabinet. As the Honorable Premier would say, this and that chair is already right there. So, send him to cabinet, send him to government. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard from Minister Brand. But ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do right now, I want to introduce you to the brave and bold and consistent man who went to the Cotton Ground Community Center today and was duly nominated to be on the ballot paper come next Thursday, the 5th of March. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, the next representative, the next area representative for St. Thomas, Keith King, this and that, Scarborough MBE.
Now is the time to show that we're serious. Let us all pull together as one
to help eradicate starvation.
Now is the time to do the things you said. Now is the time to help in every way. Now is the time to show that you really care. Now is the time to show some unity. Now is the time to help humanity. Yeah. Now is the time.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to all of you who have traveled from far and near to be with us here this evening. A special good evening to the good people of St. Thomas's Parish, and particularly the good people of Westbury. I am indeed honored to be addressing you once again. You would recall, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, that I came here all by myself in 2011. I came back in 2013. I came again in 2015, though it was a federal election. I came all by myself in 2017. And I am here again this evening. And on each occasion, I have asked for your support here in this area. And on each occasion, you have said no. But I keep coming. And tonight, I want to speak to you specifically as to why I am here and why it is important this time around for you to say yes. But before I go into my presentation, I want to say, like I've been saying throughout the constituency, a heartfelt thank you to Mr. Joseph Parry for his contribution over the past 30 years as the representative for St. Thomas's Parish. Because yes, we sat on a different side of the table, but we always had great respect for each other. And I know to be the representative of St. Thomas's Parish, or any parish for that matter, it means you have to make a serious sacrifice. It means you have to make tremendous commitment. And it means you have to work hard. Because politics is not easy. It is not an easy game. So I want to thank Mr. Parry for his service over the past 30 years. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brand was introduced to the platform with a song. And the first line of that song asks the question, would you stand aside and watch your country dying and never lend a helping hand? I will take out the word country and put in St. Thomas's Parish. Because, ladies and gentlemen, what we are facing, like you would have heard earlier from the Honorable Eric Evelyn, is a very simple decision. A very simple decision. And that is whether you're going to vote to put somebody into government to further your cause, or you're going to vote merely to put somebody in the opposition benches. It is the first time in the history of Nevis that there is an opportunity to place somebody inside of cabinet through a by-election. We have had by-election before, but there was never the opportunity to choose that person to go into cabinet. This is what you have here this evening, coming up March 5th. That is the opportunity you have, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury. Now I understand clearly your loyalty to your party, because the NRP has consistently won St. Thomas's Parish for 40 years. 40 years. But ladies and gentlemen, time has evolved. Situations are evolving.
And you have an opportunity, a great opportunity, to ensure that you vote differently this time. Differently. Ladies and gentlemen, I outline a number of things that I want to do in St. Thomas's Parish. But I'll come to that in a while. I want to say to you, the good people of Westbury, that the Concerned Citizens Movement Party has delivered to the people of Nevis. Has delivered. Is still delivering and would continue to deliver. And the people knows that. And as a result of that, the good people of St. James's are going to stay with Alexis Jeffers. The good people of St. George's are going to stay with the Honorable Eric Evelyn. The good people of St. John's are going to stay with Premier Mark Brantley. And I have no doubt that the good people of St. Paul's will stay with the Honorable Spencer Brand. So I know, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, you're not only looking at the Concerned Citizens Movement being in power for 3 more years, which there will be, but from the looks of things, we are going to see the Concerned Citizens Movement in power for 20 years and plus. Maybe more. But I guarantee you, for 20 years and more, which means you will not only be voting in this by-election to put somebody on the opposition bench, if you do, for 3 years, but to put them on the opposition bench for well over 20 years. I want you to understand that. Well over 20 years you'll be putting that person on the opposition benches for. And then, of course, is going to come the complaints. Because we as a party are looking after the entire country. You would have heard the Honorable Eric Evelyn outline a number of things done here in St. Thomas's Parish. But we know you're going to hear the shout down the road if they go on the opposition benches, how they're not being looked after. And nothing could be further from the truth. But you see, once you're not in cabinet, you really have no idea what is going on. See? You have no idea what is going on. Things are being done in your constituency, but you're not part and parcel of that discussion. So you feel like nothing is going on. But things are happening right here in St. Thomas's Parish, and will continue to happen in St. Thomas's Parish. So I want you, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, when you go into the polling station on March 5th, I want you to say a little prayer. Before you make that X, I want you to say a little prayer. Ask the good Lord to show you the way, the truth, and the light. Ask him to grant you wisdom and courage to know the difference. And he will answer you in a positive way. Because I believe, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, voting to put anybody on the opposition benches when you have an opportunity to put them in cabinet has to be a sin in the eyes of the Lord. Has to be a sin. Because you will be subjecting your children and grandchildren unnecessarily to things that they shouldn't be facing. In other words, greater representation will be there to look after those children. I will be on the inside making a lot of noise for the further development of your children and grandchildren, the constituency, and even yourselves. You see? Once you put that individual into government, a lot more will be done for you. But if you chose to go in the opposite direction, you have only yourself to blame. That will be your legacy. You have a golden opportunity, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, to make history. To make history. To leave a legacy behind that your children and grandchildren will be proud of. It is your legacy when you vote positively to send somebody to the cabinet of the Navy Silent Administration. What a legacy it would be that you're leaving for your children and grandchildren. You know, I went to church on Sunday at the Shiloh Baptist Church, and strange enough, that was the topic of the sermon. What would be your legacy? Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you let this opportunity slip and vote to put somebody in the opposition benches, that will be your legacy. That is what you will be remembered by. You will have to answer to your children and your grandchildren as to why you made that error, why you made that choice, why you made that decision. But if you vote positively and leave them a good legacy, I'm sure they will be proud of you long after you're gone. So, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, I know they're going to come here and tell you all sorts of things, promise you all kind of things. But please remember that once they win, is only in the opposition they are going. Mr. Parry was there. He was there for 2 years, and he recognized that the Concerned Citizens Movement have another 3 years in power. And he recognized the way things are looking, it will be many more years. So if the experience, Mr. Joseph Parry could call it quits because he recognized the positivity of the Concerned Citizens Movement, the development they are bringing. The unknown soldier cannot help you in opposition. It's as simple as that. He doesn't need any argument in this by-election. It calls for simple reasoning. What do I do when I go into that polling station? Do I vote to give Westbury a greater chance, a greater opportunity, and the rest of St. Thomas's Parish? Or do I vote to keep the status quo? And I know the good people of St. Thomas's Parish are intelligent persons. They are very intelligent in St. Thomas's Parish. And they know the choice is simple. What they're wrestling with is their loyalty. But you must ask the question, which is more important? Loyalty to yourselves, loyalty to your children, loyalty to your constituency, or loyalty to a party that will lose again and again. It's as simple as that. You have to decide where your loyalty lies. And it cannot be in any party. It has to be in your children's future. It has to be in the development of the constituency and the development of yourselves. All that must come before any party, any loyalty to any party. Those three must take precedence when you go into the voters' booth on March 5th. Stand up and ask yourself a simple question before you make that X. Say a prayer. And I gave you the prayer earlier. I'll repeat it for you. Ask the good Lord to show you the way, the truth, and the light. Ask him to grant you wisdom and the courage to know the difference and to do the right thing. And he will answer you. He will show you the way. He will show you your children. He will show you your constituency. That's what he will do. He will tell you you must vote for these things. That is where your loyalty must lie. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure with your intelligence and your own level of thinking, you're going to do the right thing. Now, ladies and gentlemen in Westbury, there is a plan to develop the road coming straight here to Westbury, going all the way to Fountain. And like my good friend Eric said earlier, it takes time. It takes time. We are going to finish off the main road, go all the way to Libert Hill. And after that, it will be Westbury turn. Remember that the NRP was in power, was representing you here for 40 years, and the roads are the same. It is the same. So if you waited for 40 years, you could wait another year or two. But it will be done. Ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, I would like to put a community center here in Westbury. That is something I would like to place here in Westbury, a community center. So you can commune together. I have outlined, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, that I would like to revive the sports and the culture in the entire St. Thomas's constituency. The whole of St. Thomas's parish was known for its brilliance in sports and culture. But over the years, we have seen both of them wane. So I have decided, if elected, I want to have a St. Thomas's United Pioneers cricket team. When elected, yes, thank you. A St. Thomas's United Pioneers cricket team. And in case you're wondering why I use Pioneers, it is because that is the current team in St. Thomas's. There's no cricket team anymore in Jessops, none in Banscott, none in Westbury, none in Craddock Road. Cotton Ground is the only one that has a cricket team that is called Pioneers Cricket Team. I want to change that name to St. Thomas's Pioneers Cricket Team. And the reason for that, ladies and gentlemen, is that I want to have the whole of St. Thomas's included, feeling comfortable to join that cricket team. Broaden the bench, so to speak, of that cricket team. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the time has come to revive the sport. Now that we have peace, sweet peace in St. Thomas's, it is time to put the youths back in the sporting field. Develop the sport in St. Thomas's. And I want to do a similar thing for football. A similar thing for basketball. Those three principles I will start with. St. Thomas's United Pioneers football team and St. Thomas's United CG Rebels basketball team. Until you yourselves in Westbury, in Jessops, in Craddock Road, and in Banscott can develop your own team. Then we could have separate teams. But for now, I want to go with a St. Thomas's United cricket, football, and basketball team. And I have said that I will contribute my entire constituency allowance towards that development. I have said I will give $500 a month to that St. Thomas's United Pioneers cricket team. $500 a month to the St. Thomas's United Pioneers football team. And $500 a month to the St. Thomas's United CG Rebels basketball team. I have also said, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, that I want to contribute to the development of a primary school student to the tune of $500 a month for 1 year. And I say 1 year because I want to change have a different child benefiting from that at the second year, and another child the third year, and go on and on and on as long as I am the elected representative for St. Thomas's Parish. Those are some of the things that I have put in place. In addition to the many good things that the Concerned Citizens Movement will be doing for the parish of St. Thomas. Because those are just my plans, some of my plans for the immediate future. Because those are easy things to do. Those are easy things to do. I have outlined having a pavilion on the play field at Cotton Ground playing field. I have outlined resurfacing the basketball court in Cotton Ground, having it lighted, having seats around, and that pavilion to have seats, lunchroom, bathrooms. So I have outlined that throughout our canvassing and our public meetings, some of the things that I intend to do in the short term. Westbury, there's more to gain by voting in a positive direction. Much more to gain. Let us not stay with the status quo. Let us not stay with the status quo. There are those who may feel they've been voting NRP for so long, they have to stay loyal. But you don't. Your loyalty must be to your children, your grandchildren, your constituency, and yourselves. That's where your loyalty should be. Because really, like I said earlier, nobody in opposition could offer you anything. They cannot offer you anything. That is just how the cookie crumbles. So take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury. Take this opportunity to strengthen the hands of the Nevis Island administration. Take this opportunity to consolidate the gains which we have made in St. Thomas's Parish. Take this opportunity, because once you do, we all will be the beneficiary. All of us here in St. Thomas's Parish could only benefit by sending me as your representative to Cabinet of the Nevis Island administration. So you have everything to gain by voting one way, and nothing at all to gain by voting the other. It is simple, simple logic. And I think the whole of St. Thomas's Parish knows it. So there's no need to fear to make that change. No need at all to fear. There was a time when St. George's Parish was very strong NRP, and they made the decision to change. And you could see all the benefits now flowing towards that parish. There was that time. There was one time when all of Nevis was NRP. And we changed. Every one of us here used to be NRP. And we made the change because we saw the sense in making the change. I'm saying to you, people of St. Thomas's Parish, Westbury in particular, since we are here, you must grab the opportunity and make that change. Leave that legacy for your children. Leave that legacy for your children. A good one. So that you could rest peacefully knowing you have done what is right for your children, your grandchildren, and your constituency. So please, ladies and gentlemen, on March 5th, people of Westbury, I am asking for your support. I am asking you to join with me and ensure that St. Thomas's Parish leaves a good legacy for all of us, all of the children. Ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, it was nice talking to you. Before I come off the mic, I want to thank my good friend Max for allowing me to keep meeting here. Max is a good friend of mine. We're on different sides of the table. Max, I'm asking you for your support this time around. I'm asking for your support. I understand your loyalty, but you and I get along very well. I know you're an intelligent man, and you will do the right thing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me.
We always say there is love among us.
Now is the time to show that we're serious. Let us all pull together as one.
To help eradicate starvation.
Now is the time to do the things you said. Now is the time to help in every way. Now is the time to show that you really care. Now is the time to show some unity. Now is the time to help humanity. Yeah. Now is the time.
All right. Thank you very much, Keith King, this and that, Scarborough MBE. Your next representative in the Nevis Island Administration, in the Nevis Island Assembly for St. Thomas's, Nevis 5. I'm sure you realize how confident he sounds. And that is because of the fact that we in this CCM administration, we in this great party, we are throwing our support behind him. And we cannot reiterate enough that we want the support of all the good people of Westbury and all the good people of St. Thomas's. When this and that came here to the podium or to the microphone, he said how consistent he is. He keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. And he's asking you now to see the light, to make that change your mind, and vote for CCM. Of course, we know his exploits in Calypso. There's no other Calypsonian on Nevis as consistent as this and that. And that is what you want in a politician. And that is what you want in your representative. So you have a man, very friendly, very approachable, very consistent, and a man who has the affairs of the people of Nevis at heart. And it's because of the fact that he wants to represent you so badly why he keeps coming and coming and coming. And it's because of that you need to give this gentleman a chance. And we believe this is your perfect opportunity. The 4th or the 5th of March 2020 is your perfect opportunity to give this and that chance. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a wonderful meeting here at Westbury tonight. And I've just been told that we can be heard loud and clear all the way over in Cotton Ground. Kudos to the sound system. Fabulous tonight. We are being heard loud and clear over in Cotton Ground. And I believe all of Westbury, you're hearing us. Because we need the message to go to every registered voter in St. Thomas's that come next Thursday. Your support belongs to the CCM. Your support belongs to this and that. Your support, your ex belongs to the hammer. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are so proud to have with us tonight. We are so proud to have with us our deputy leader, the deputy premier, the man who has been creating waves all over Nevis with agriculture. Don't talk about housing. The man himself. We call him Zook, but I'm going to call him the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Alexis.
So divided we fall. We must unite
must be strong. Whoa, 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 whoa. Every time I look around, I see my people suffer. Lord.
Thank you very much, Mr. DJ. And let me start by saying good night to the people of Westbury. It's good to be here. We're here as a party, the Concerned Citizens Movement, and we're bringing a message to you. A message that is very clear, that we are here to support Keith this and that Scarborough in this upcoming by-election on the 5th of March. Now later on I'll speak about Keith Scarborough. He has laid out his case to you tonight. And I believe it is very clear what he intends to do when he's elected on the 5th of March. I want to at this point apologize for the absence of the Premier, the Honorable Mark Brantley. Of course, he would have been here tonight, but official business would have taken him elsewhere. He should be back, all being well though, by tomorrow. So by the time this campaign is over, you'd have heard from him many times, I must say, before the campaign is over. But ladies and gentlemen, the CCM party continues to rumble, as we say, because you have heard from all of the speakers before, and of course they have given a good account of themselves. As a matter of fact, I want to say to you as well, all of the speakers before would have paid homage to the Honorable Joseph Parry for his contribution to the overall development of Nevis and education, in politics, in social development, and other areas. And respect must be given where it's due. Because after 28 years of representing the parish of St. Thomas's, he has finally said, enough is enough. And of course, we wish him well in retirement. I want to say to you that with his departure, it gives us an opportunity to welcome a new representative for this constituency. So there's a departure and an arrival. And that is why Keith, this and that Scarborough, has come to you this time around again. He has said to you he came in 2011. He came back in 2013. He came back in 2017. And he's back again in 2020. Now I must commend him, because to put on your boots and say you're going to run in any political, or you want to represent any constituency in Nevis, it is not an easy thing. From the time you decide to do so, you open up yourself to all type of ridicule. All kind of things will be said about you. But this and that has come time and time again, and I've demonstrated to you that he's not too concerned about the negativity, but he's more concerned about the positive impact that he can have on this constituency. And I want you to give him your support, because it is not an easy thing for him to do. I can speak this way, because when I started back in 2008, 2009, thereabout, I came under tremendous pressure and ridicule. But here I stand today, 2020, still taking licks, and I don't care, and I don't mind, because I do believe that I stand on the grounds of good, and I stand on a ground that tells me that once you're doing good for the people, it makes sense that you press on. And I am pressing on, and this and that has come to say, give him the chance so he can press on with the CCM party and press on with this administration in cabinet, as he has said. We have made the case that we can all be in parliament, sit on the opposition bench and talk in the morning, talk at midday, talk in the evening, talk, with no results. But once you sit in cabinet where decisions are made, you are around that big table. We call it the table where all of the directors sit and make decisions. And why I use the word directors, it is a boardroom called cabinet. And that's where decisions are made. I want to give you one example. You have heard the speakers before me, Spencer mentioned it, and I believe Eric, this and that did as well, spoke about that brand new highway at the bottom of Westbury Road. And I hope Spencer doesn't mind that I mentioned this, because he came with a different plan. He came with a different plan and a different project that he wanted to undertake. But we sat around the table and we understood the impact that road, or the negative impact that that same road would have been having on our motoring public here in the island of Nevis. You here in Westbury, when you leave Westbury, you're going to Charlestown. You leave Westbury, you're heading towards the north, towards the airport. You had to drive on an old piece of road down there. Yes, it has been built for many years, but the previous administration, when they had the chance to repair that road, they used it as a political football, and they were up and down saying, oh, it is an honest mistake road, or some nonsense like that. I want to say to you, while they were saying honest mistake, you here in Westbury, you're losing your vehicle. You're losing your tires, losing your shocks, losing every part of your vehicle. It was an eyesore. But they said it was an honest mistake. We are not that type of government. We said the road had to be fixed. So when Spencer came with his plan, I was one who said, listen, everyone who comes off of the Sea Bridge, everyone who leaves the north in St. James and come into Charlestown, everyone who leaves Westbury, Fountain, Mount Lily, and head to Charlestown, they had to drive on that bad road. So I pleaded, I begged, I urged, and of course, the entire cabinet conceded. And now you have a spanking new road down there. That is being in cabinet, and that is the power of being there to make decisions. And to, sometimes we fight, you know. I don't mean fist fight, but verbally we throw our ideas out there and we say why we believe it is important to do a particular project. So we won out on this one, and the people of Westbury, the people of Fountain, Mount Lily, but more so, while we are here in Westbury, I'm concentrating on you and tell you that you are the beneficiary of that brand new road, because someone in cabinet determined that that is the best thing to do. And that is the point we've been making all along. Yes, once we sit in cabinet, we represent the entire island. There's no doubt about that. But basically, you have an additional voice there, that when someone has an opposing view, then that voice will be speaking on your behalf. And that is the point we are trying to make. I can speak of St. James. I know we are not having an election up there. But when I sit in cabinet, the first thing I think about is St. James. And you can't knock me for that. Because the people of St. James made that decision many years ago and said, Alexis, I want you to go to cabinet or to represent me in parliament and most of cabinet, and also to ensure that things are done in the constituency of St. James. When Premier Parry was there, he represented St. Thomas's. I can recall the first thing he did when he got back into government in 2006. He built that road from Jessup up to Banscott and down to Cotton Ground. I applaud him for that. I applaud him. He did other things, build community centers. I applaud him for that. But you know where he did it from? In government and in cabinet, where he was making decisions on behalf of the people of St. Thomas's. You think when he was out there from 1992 to 2006, he could have built a road? Or he could have built those community centers? That is why we are making the plea to you here in Westbury. Make the conscious decision to vote for Keith, this and that, Scarborough. I believe that you have all of the information that he has given you. He has laid out a plan and said he's going to build a stadium there in Cotton Ground. He's going to name it after, I believe he said, Jabba Lawrence. He's going to fix up the play field. He's going to do many things there. And he's also going to build community center. He's mentioned that here tonight. And all that he said he's going to do, I can stand there tonight and said Alexis Jeffers is going to make the commitment to the people of Westbury that whenever Keith, this and that, Scarborough sits around the table, brings his plans and program, I will support him. And I could go further and tell you the entire cabinet will support him. That's what we'll do. Because we believe that every citizen in this island deserves the best infrastructure, the best standard of living, and Westbury won't be left out. St. Thomas's won't be left out because your man will be working on your behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll come back to Keith this and that Scarborough. Because you see, this election is about CCM and NRP. What's good for Nevis and what's not. What we have done as a government and what the other side, who you have seen in government, what they have done and what they have not done. I want to say to you that I do believe that we made a decision in 2013 when things were difficult in this island. When we were facing tremendous pressure from the federal government, we made a decision to join Team Unity. And the CCM, in my opinion, and I stand here and I can proudly say this, the CCM has achieved more in 5 years being a part of Team Unity than the NRP has done in 40 years in and out of government, as in the federal parliament or federal government, I must say. Let us repeat that again so we get it clear. The CCM has achieved more in 5 years than the NRP has achieved in and out of government in the federal parliament or federal government. So I want that to be recorded and replayed because it is a fact. It is a fact. And you know, let me tell you something, you know. A federal election is going to come, but we'll come back. But while I'm here at the microphone, I'm going to speak. Because I'll tell you this much. With the disrespect that has been meted out to this CCM government back in 2013, we had to make that decision. As a matter of fact, we have gotten so much in the last 5 years. The former Prime Minister, Douglas, have said, think it's a give away the money to Nevis. And when he come back into government, if he do come back, he want back every penny. You all must have heard him say that. And that is the kind of union we had prior to 2013 when the NRP was in a union with the Labour Party bringing pain and pressure on the people of Nevis. But we had to come into government to stop that. So they said they want back the money. So what are they going to do? The pier that we build over there at Wally out of monies received from the SIDF, they don't come and dig it up. That's what they're going to do. The generator that we got out of funds from the SIDF up there at the Nevlek power plant, what are they going to do? Come and pick it up? Well, it ain't going to happen because they don't get back in government in St. Kitts anyway. They ain't going to get back there. But based on the union we have seen the realization of many infrastructural improvement here on the island of Nevis. I talk about the pier. We can talk about the hospital development up there. We can talk about the renovation of the government house. We can talk about the Joycelyn primary kitchen. We can talk about the veterinary clinic, the abattoir expansion. We can talk about the resurfacing of the Van Samry International Airport runway. We can talk about new communication. We can talk about the water enhancement project. We can also talk about road development here in Nevis. Hanley's Road, Braziers, Charles Road, all up and down Nevis. That's where the funding have come from, right out of our union with the federal government. Team Unity have produced all that. And more to come, you know. More to come, it just a start. It just starts. Because I am telling you, we are saying to the people of St. Thomas's, get on board. Let us do what is necessary. So when we get past this local by-election, when Keith this and that is elected, the numbers will be so good that we'll roll right into Bastia with 3 seats, and then we'll get much more than we're getting now. We need money to develop this island. How do you develop it? Talking? You can't talk and develop this island. Many may not agree with what I'm saying. But the truth is the truth, and it will remain the truth. The truth is what it is. CCM have proven to you it is a better negotiator than any NRP administration in this island. CCM has proven that. And when we speak with authority and passion, because when we talk, we know what we're talking about. We don't come with the fluff, you know. When we say we are coming to transform the lives of the people of this island, we mean every word of it. It is there to see. If I were to ask you, are you better off now than you were prior to 2013? The majority of people in this island will say yes. Resoundingly yes. Because we know what we were going through. We know what we were experiencing. And we know what we have now. Life is no bed of roses. Life is not always going to be easy. But how you negotiate the challenges of life, how you negotiate the challenges of life, that is what determines exactly what your future will be like. And I want to applaud the people of Westbury, applaud the people of Nevis for understanding what life is all about and live within your means and understand that better times are ahead. And it could only be better once you stick with your CCM party. Can't go back to those days. Those old time days where every time on the radio, pure negativity, pure nonsense as far as I'm concerned. It is time to look forward, look for a brighter future. Ladies and gentlemen, let me talk a few more things, Because you hear them talking about housing in this island. CCM started the housing revolution in Nevis under the late Honorable Malcolm Gishard. He started housing development in Bath. Hard time. He started housing development in Maddens, Butlers, Newcastle. Listen, when I look at housing in this island, I have to give the late Honorable Malcolm Gishard credit. And all of us who have come along have built on that legacy. But I want to say to you here in Westbury, and many may ask, what does all I'm saying have to do with the by-election? You have a lot to do with it. It has to do with government. You think a by-election is an isolated case? It has to do with government and what will happen in government or what has happened in government, because you're elected to be in government, so you have to talk about matters pertaining to government. I will say to you that up and down this island you hear now be talking about housing, but then they last to talk about housing. They went over to Cherry Garden and built a number of houses. And when it was all said and done, the majority of people over there couldn't get the title in their hand to say they own a house. As far as I'm concerned, the majority of people over in Cherry Garden, they are paying rent for those houses. They cannot claim that they own a house over there. That is not CCM for you. We have tried since we come into government. Here's what we have done. We have said to those who are currently paying $700 to $1,000 a month and don't have any pathway to home ownership, we have said to you, whatever your balance on your house is, we are willing to give you 15% off of that balance. We are willing to pay the legal fees to transfer that balance to a commercial bank. Many persons have taken advantage. Some persons saved upwards of $30,000 as a result. So they would have gone to a commercial bank, and with that transfer, they automatically got their title to their house or their property. That is what a good government does. But you see, NRP went in there, never had a plan, only what you're looking for votes. All they were looking for are votes. So they went, build some houses, stockpile some houses, take the key and give it to Tom, give it to Dick. This is your key. But then you didn't make them any better. You turned poor people into paupers as far as I'm concerned, because they were paying with no pathway to ownership. We said no, and that is the program I just spoke about. We gave them that option, and many persons took advantage. So they are now proud homeowners out there because of your CCM party, not because of NRP. You had a key to a house and that's it. There was an unfortunate situation where two persons died. When their family members came in, they thought that everything was on the up and up. When we explained to them that there is no ownership to this house, they were disappointed, and rightfully so. And that is why we went about rectifying that. And that is how persons were able to own their house. I want to say to you that we have introduced a program whereby we borrowed about $25 million from the Social Security Board. $10 million to start, and then another 15. What we said to young men and young women in this island: bring us $5,000 or $7,500 or $10,000, depending on the value of the house. And once you bring that down payment, we are going to devise a plan for you where you don't pay nothing more than $1,200 for about 25 years. And instantly, once you get into that house, you become the proud homeowner of that property. because your title is issued to you instantly. I want to tell you how important a title is to hold on to. Nobody in Westbury would want to live on a property and don't have a title to that property. You are a proud person, a proud homeowner when you can wave your title. That piece of paper is a powerful piece of paper. It is a powerful piece of paper. Do not let anybody fool you into thinking you should be renting a house for some period of time, not to eventually own it. So once you get that paper, imagine what you can do. Imagine you're going to send your daughter, your son to school to study or to earn a degree. You can go into any bank and tell them, refinance this loan for me. I need $40,000, $50,000 to send my daughter or my son to school. There's where you have that power. As a matter of fact, if one day, unfortunately you become ill, you go into the bank and said, I need some monies to go abroad to seek medical attention. You get that mortgage refinance, you get the monies needed to save your life. But imagine you don't have that opportunity or that facility to do that. You're stuck. You're stuck in a no man's land to do what? You can't go for your medical attention. You can't help your son or your daughter without that paper in your hand. And when people try to offer you a program that doesn't provide a pathway to home ownership, you should reject it and find the best options available to you. But you don't have to worry, because we'll be around for a long time. You hear Eric say how long we're going to be around, or this and that. I don't want to talk about years. I just want to be around long enough to make sure I help as many people as possible. I just want to be around for as long as it takes to help as many people as possible. But I know this is CCM party. We have a slogan, and you see it right here on my shirt. I hope the camera picking it up. What does it say? People matter most. Let me check. Oh, that's what he said, huh? All around. All around. It seems like when I walk down the road, I see it on every lamppost as well. People matter most. And when we devise our plans and programs and policies, it is all about people. So in housing, we have demonstrated that the young men and young women of this island are front and center in our plans and program in housing. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you that when it comes to the concerned citizens movement, we have demonstrated as well in infrastructural development. I mentioned some before. But when you drive up and down Nevis, when you go the length and breadth of Nevis, you're going to meet good roads. You're going to meet some not so good. As was said before, we would love to fix every inch of road in Nevis. It is obvious that we cannot do all at one time. But I understand from Minister Brand, when he laid out his program here tonight, that this road is up for repairs from the bottom of Westbury all the way up to Fountain, around to Mount Lily, and down to Camps. But we're going to finish the Island Main Road first. That is the thoroughfare that the entire traveling public will use from time to time. So I am happy to report that the people of Westbury will soon get some relief. And all up and down St. Thomas's, relief is going to come. Relief will come. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go on a little further, because it seems as though the speakers before me gave me some extra time. But I want to demonstrate to you how caring the CCM party in government has been. Now, when we got into government, I mentioned before the hostility we were facing from the federal government under the Labour Party. One of the things they did in 2014, and I'm bringing this up because you must be reminded, part of making a decision in an election is because you're reminded of what you had to deal with and what you don't want to go back to. So in 2014, I believe it was April of 2014, we were sitting down in the cabinet room, having our usual Wednesday morning cabinet, when we had a call made to the Premier. The Premier then was the Honorable Van Samry. And that call came from the Financial Secretary, and he said to the Premier, there is a problem. the checks for our civil servants are bouncing all over Charlestown. All of the banks were dishonoring those checks. Nobody was getting paid that day. And that was the mastermind of the then Prime Minister in Bastille, Dr. Douglas, wanting to embarrass the CCM. So those checks were bounced. The Premier made a call to the then chairman of the National Bank. He told the Premier, I'll be back in touch with you shortly. Well, up to this day, as I stand here, shortly has never come. It never came. But you know what? We made a decision that unfortunate incident will never happen again to the hard-working civil servants of Nevis. And while that was happening to the civil servants, you know, the NRP was up and down glorifying that foolishness that the Prime Minister would have done. They were up and down glorifying the same time the fella that is going to come to here. He's going to come to you here soon, you know. Because he's running again, this guy Patrice. He was in the federal cabinet. He was not just in parliament. He was in the federal cabinet when that decision was made to embarrass the hard-working men and women of Nevis. He was a part of it. But we made a conscious decision then. That will never happen to the good people of Nevis again. So an opportunity came. In 2016, 2 million shares became available in the Bank of Nevis. And I'm making this point because it is a significant point, because it speaks to who cares about the people of Nevis. Now, when those 2 million shares became available, your CCM party in government paid $5 million for those shares. You know what the thinking was? The thinking was the people of Nevis must have a stake in a local, indigenous bank, the Bank of Nevis. Now, while we were creating that stake and making that happen, shares were made available, you know, when the NRP was in government. And when those shares became available, instead of thinking about the people of Nevis, you and I, the average working man in Nevis, they thought about themselves. So everybody in the NRP who could have bought, went and bought shares for themselves. So before 2016, shares were owned by all them in NRP, all the bigwigs them. All the bigwigs them who had money went and buy shares for themselves. I could have bought some shares when I heard about it. Vance could have bought some shares for himself. The Honorable Mark Bradley could have grabbed some, I'm sure. Those of us in cabinet who knew about it could have gone. But what we said, if we invest in a local indigenous institution, an institution that is a part of you and I, an institution that belongs to us, an indigenous institution, it would speak well for us as a government and us as an island. It strengthens our capacity and give us that extra avenue whereby we can be a part of the decision-making process. So we bought the shares. We were able to put directors on the board. And those directors sit around the table when policies are shaped, when decisions are made, so that all of us as Nevisians can be impacted positively as a result. That is what a good government does. That is what a caring government does. And when I say CCM cares more about the people of Nevis, that is what I mean. So we are now proud shareholders, the people of Nevis, through the Nevis Island Administration. We are now proud shareholders in the Bank of Nevis. And I'm putting all of this to you to demonstrate to you that when this and that says he wants to be a part of the process, let him come and be a part of the process so that when decisions are made, he's also there to make some on your behalf. So that is what we have done. And we go on from there because, you see, this ain't happy. And I'm spending some time on them because I told you it is a matter of CCM against NRP. This is an election to determine which party has been there for you and which party continue to work for you. I will tell you, as much as they're talking, we came back into government. A lot of the debts we were servicing prior to 2006, we came into government. I made them unpaid. One is such, the Kuwaiti funds. You have heard about the Kuwaiti fund many times. we would have borrowed monies for that fund for infrastructural development here in Nevis. I believe the Long Point Pier is one. I believe there are other things. The airport might have had some monies borrowed for that. But nothing was paid to them. We came back and we had to reestablish that relationship because it was no longer in existence. Because the NRP would have done something to tarnish that relationship. And I am saying these things, it may not be pleasing to many, but all I'm saying, when I stand here on this platform, I bring the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The truth sometimes hurt. The truth sometimes hurt, but if we are campaigning, let's campaign. If we are bringing facts, let's bring facts. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to spend a little more time on this and that before I come off the stage. Let me tell you about this and that. This and that has been a true champion as a king in this island. He has been the president of the Nevis Cricket Association. And I will tell you, when he was the president of the Cricket Association, you never heard the confusion that you heard 3 weeks ago. There was some confusion in this island here. People wanting to be president and fighting to be president. This and that was elected because people felt he had what it takes to be the president of the Nevis Cricket Association. He didn't have to fight for that. And when he was the president, we would have had cricket played in this island. He would have transformed the lives of our cricketers. Got persons on the Leeward Islands youth team. Got persons on the Leeward Islands senior team. And I believe, I might stand corrected, but he would correct me whether he got anybody on the West Indies team. But if he didn't get, I am certain about the Leeward Islands team. And this and that has demonstrated that he's a community man. Because for somebody to get up over 40 years, win or lose, he keep going and making sure that our culture stays alive. And I have to applaud him for that because not too many people lost for that time or last for that time. So I want to commend this and that. And when people have shown that they have the fortitude to persevere, you have to reward them for that. So I want you to do this on the 5th of March. Go to vote early. If you're working for 8 o'clock, try and get in the line before you get to work. You have that authority under the law to vote. No employer can stop you. So even if you show up to work a bit late, that is fine. You go to vote. The reason why you want to go to vote early, you don't want to be tied up elsewhere and don't come back to exercise your franchise. So that is the first thing you have to do. Now, if you don't have a valid ID, if it has expired, you still can vote with your passport or any government-issued ID. So there's no reason not to vote if you don't have a valid national ID. So check the voters list. Make sure you're there. Make sure come the 5th of March, you're first in line to vote for Keith, this and that Scarborough. His symbol is the hammer. And that represents strength in this island. That represents the CCM party that has been there for you over the last 7 years. And prior to that, for 14 wonderful years here on the island of Nevis. So go and vote for this and that. We have said we now have 4 seats in Parliament. We want the next seat to make it 5. Because we want to be working hard in every constituency. We want someone to be in every constituency working for and on behalf of the people of that constituency. So ladies and gentlemen, I've gone long tonight. I'm sweating. I have gone long. It was like a marathon. But I want to also end by thanking you for your support to the CCM party and the Team Unity government. This is the 5th anniversary we are celebrating. You remember we had a concert on the weekend. That was a part of that celebration. And we are looking forward to another 5 years of celebration with you. But we can only do that once you start the ball rolling with this by-election coming. Then we roll into the next election. And then we roll down to Bastia and make sure that we get not only our fair share, I've thrown that aside. We are going down to St. Kitts to get our rightful share. Our rightful share, and that will happen with 3 representatives from the CCM in Bastia. But before we get there, send Keith to cabinet. Send him to work on your behalf. I thank you in advance, and I thank you for coming out this evening. Thank you. Get home safely and vote overwhelmingly for your CCM party come the 5th of March, 2020. Thank you very much and have a wonderful evening.
Go, 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 we've got to unite. Go, 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 we've got to unite. Come on, people, say we've got to
Oh yeah, St. Thomas's people, you got to reunite with the rest of Nevis. And that's our message to you. Westbury, St. Thomas's, you got to unite with the rest of us. We have 4, and we're looking for number 5. Thank you very much, Alexis Jeffers, Deputy Premier, Deputy Leader of the great CCM party, the party that says people matter most. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard some powerful messages tonight. You've heard from the Honorable Spencer Brand. You've heard from the next area representative for St. Thomas's. And you just heard from the Honorable Alexis Jeffers. Of course, I've been here all night as your chairman. It has been our pleasure speaking to the good people of Westbury. And once again, we want to say a pleasant good night to all the people joining us online. Remember, it's just another week and 2 days before you people of St. Thomas's go to the polls, reminding Westbury folks you will be voting at the Cotton Ground Community Center. And remember, put your X next to Keith, this and that Scarborough, MBE, next to the hammer. With the hammer, we, the concerned citizens movement, will continue to build Nevis brick by brick. That's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. Our next meeting will be this coming Friday, and we will be with the people of Jessops, right there at the bottom of Jessops. So, right at the bottom of Jessops, we'll be there on Friday at 8 o'clock. Friday the 28th of February, 2020. Remember, ladies and gentlemen of Westbury, this is 2020. Get your 2020 vision and put your support, throw your support behind the Concerned Citizens Movement. Throw your support behind Keith This and That Scarborough. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It has been our pleasure being with you. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for listening. We'll see you back on Friday at Jessops. Thank you. God bless you. Good night. Stick with your party, the Concerned Citizens Movement. Thank you. God bless.
Every time I look around, I see my people suffer. Every time I look around, I seem to feel the pain. Why can't we unite? Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, can't we unite? But I bless ya. Why can't we unite? Why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, why, oh, can't we unite?
That's right, the sound of the big blue machine is in the building. Yeah. Don't forget, we're gonna be at Jessops.
A man is still a man.
Jessup hearing us right now. We're gonna be in your area on Friday.
Difference is whether I'm good or evil. Oh, a man is still a man. Whether I'm rich or poor, black or white for sure. The only difference is whether I'm good or evil. Listen, friend, we see lots of different people in the street, wiping car glass window. This is what they do day to day, just to get a little food to eat. Oh yeah. And then you have others wearing suit and tie, work a good 9 to 5, and take it for granted that they're living a better life. I say the color of our skin don't mean a thing if we do good or commit to sin. We're all judged by the same. Jah is his holy name. So let's all be aware of how we entertain angels unaware, or angels do